Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Amit, and in today's video we're going to talk about the second hair transplant experience that I had in Istanbul, Turkey. So if you haven't already seen the video, I got a hair transplant recently from Istanbul, Turkey, and I got it at the same clinic that I went to last year, which was Vera Clinic. This time around though, I got 4,000 grafts extracted from my donor area and placed onto mostly my crown, a little bit on my mid-scalp, and also a little bit on my hairline. Now I know what you must be thinking, 4,000 grafts this time around, and if you follow my channel last year, I did 6,000 grafts for my hairline and mid-scalp. That's a total of 10,000 grafts. That definitely seems a lot for someone who's just had 2 hair transplants. And honestly, the million-dollar question is, how's my donor area gonna hold up? Now, like you, even I had these questions on my mind, but I knew for myself that I really wanted to get this hair transplant done, especially to cover up the crown, because I had gone and done my hairline, my mid-scalp, and I had to finish off my crown. So the amount of grafts that was being extracted, sure, it was on the high end, but at the end of the day, I knew for a fact that I wanted to get this done. So after discussing with the clinic's doctor, he advised how many were able to be extracted from my donor hair in the most safe way without the cause of overharvesting. He did say that if I kept my hair out long anyway, the scars wouldn't be visible, and to be honest, I always keep my hair out on the sides and the back. So to that point, it made more sense to me to extract as much as I could to be able to cover up and give more density to my crown. They also did say that I had exceptionally good donor hair, so you know, that could have been it. But also, I don't know how much to believe that, because they could have just been telling me that just to boost my own confidence about my hair transplant. So it could be a little psychological thing, who knows. Also, I know a lot of you tell me I look great with a shaved head, and you know, after getting my head shaved twice now, I kind of see it. But I also do like the preference of my hair growing out and having hair on my head. So now that I've already gone through all of this and made that effort, I'd like to see hair on my head. But in the meantime, I'm rocking the shaved look. It seems to be looking good, getting compliments from a lot of people, so I appreciate it all. One more thing is that a lot of people have been asking me how much I paid this time around for this second hair transplant. I have the answer for you. It was pretty much the same that I paid the last time with a little bit of discount because I was coming back for a second hair transplant. I will go through it properly in another video of the breakdown of that amount, but for now, I just want to leave that with you that I paid slightly less than what I paid the last time. So for those who are interested, here's a quick breakdown of the amount of the 4,000 grafts that was taken from my donor hair and placed onto my head. 3,200 grafts were mostly situated onto my crown because that was where my focus was. I wanted my density of my crown to be there to match up with my mid-scalp and my hairline. They added another 600 grafts to my mid-scalp because previously there was a lack right in the middle, so I was okay with them adding a little bit of density. And finally, they added 200 grafts right at the front of my hairline just to give it, again, a little more density, to give it that thick, full look. It's been about 2 weeks now, the healing's mostly done, so I want to give you guys a quick preview of how it's looking right now.
So from here you can see that the donor area has grown back quite quickly. The fear of being overharvested is there, but I'm confident that it'll be okay in the future. The scabs are off on my crown area as well, and hopefully we will see some good growth in the future. The front of my hairline and mid-scalp are both growing pretty fast, faster than I expected, which I'm very pleased with.
Now that we've gotten all that out of the way, I want to talk about the full experience that I actually had with the clinic this time around. Now, if you have been following this channel, as I mentioned before, last year I came out and I put up a video about the honest review of the clinic that I went to for the first time. And spoiler alert, it wasn't that great of a review, to be very honest with you. But this time that I went, I can safely say that the experience was much better compared to how I had it the first time. And I'll explain why. First off, the whole video that I made of them getting to film me at the clinic itself, it was actually me who reached out to them and asked if they could please film me because I wanted to showcase it on my YouTube channel to be able to show my viewers and my subscribers that the exact step-by-step method that one has to go through when getting a hair transplant in Turkey. The reason why I wanted to do this was because when I did it, I didn't really see that full step-by-step process. I only saw like a more glorified version of it, and every little thing that happened, truthfully, didn't happen fully with me the first time around. So that's kind of why I wanted to request them if they could film me, and I really wanted to see the differences of the experience that I'd have from the first time and then to the second time being there. So firstly, I wanted to talk about the similarities. Overall, the process of the hair transplant was exactly the same. I had gotten the same package, the same deal, the same timing of my hair transplant, the same everything really. Nothing was drastically different in the experience of getting the hair transplant. Meeting the doctor, having the conversation with him, getting the photo shoot, my head shaving, back into the procedure room, and even the head wash. Literally everything was pretty much the same as the first time I had went. So in all honesty, I could say about 90% of the experience was the same. Now for the differences, although they are very minute, I still do think they play a big part when anybody wants to get a hair transplant, especially at this particular clinic that I went to. It might be different in other places, but I'm just letting you know my full honest experience of the differences here. So the first major difference that I had received this time around was an English speaking doctor. Last year when I went, the doctor didn't know that much English, so it was really hard to communicate with him. I had a translator with me and it was fine, but I felt like a lot of the things I wanted to relay to the doctor was not fully relayed in the way I wanted it to. For example, I didn't want to come back for a second hair transplant. Truth be told, I wanted everything to be covered, my hairline, my mid-scalp, and my crown. Unfortunately, they did not communicate that with me in the right way because they said that there was a reason behind not doing the crown, but they didn't really give me a full-on reason, if that makes sense. And because of that, I didn't get my crown done. Of course, at the time, I was very naive and shy, and I didn't really know how to ask the questions I needed to ask back in the day. And I wasn't very confident in myself because I just thought, okay, I've already come all this way. I'm not going to leave empty-handed. I'm just going to get this done. And I did. Now, fast forward to this year, my doctor was an English-speaking doctor. I knew that I had to get the crown done. I'm sure if you saw in the video, I specifically asked him that I don't really care about density right now in my hairline and mid-scalp. I just want to focus on my crown because that's the most important to me. In the end, we came up with a solution that worked for my crown and adding a little density elsewhere, but mainly focusing on the crown. And this helped because I was speaking directly to the doctor and having that communication with him. Another difference that I definitely noticed was all the fancy machines that they basically used on my head in the video that I posted. Last year, I didn't get any of that. Last year, I was sitting in a chair and they drew the hairline for me. They examined my scalp and that was it. They didn't use a fancy machine to check the donor hair. They didn't use any fancy machines to check my mid-scalps and my existing hair, my baby hairs, nothing. All they did was took a quick look at me, said, all right, we'll do this many grafts in this middle section area. And that was really about it. And I moved on to the next phase of that experience. So again, I think it did help me understand personally what exactly was happening. Like I didn't even know that you had to have maybe 4 to 5 millimeters of space in your scalp to be able to input the grafts into your head. Like that was knowledge that I didn't know back in the day, but now because I went through it with my doctor this time and I had asked him, what are you doing? What exactly is happening here? I'd like to know. And he would tell me straight up, and it made me understand what was happening to me. And it also made me have much more confidence in the surgery that was going to happen. So that was something that definitely didn't happen the last time. My advice is that if you were to go this time around, definitely just ask the doctor, can you examine my head using the machine? Like I want to see what's the deal as well. Because I don't think that they wouldn't do it. I just think that they wouldn't suggest it immediately. I did ask a bunch of people at the clinic as well about this and if they had basically gone through what I had gone through, in a sense that was the doctor using the machines on them as well. A lot of them said no, some of them said yes. I guess it really depends on what you get or which doctor you're seeing. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. I would still suggest just ask, and hopefully you get the treatment that I got as well. The last key difference was that I definitely think that they gave me more skilled and qualified technicians compared to the rest. Although I can't really complain too much because last year, the technicians that was operating on me, I can't say that they were any bad because they performed a phenomenal hair transplant on me, and I currently have so much hair on the front end of my mid-scalp. So although I do think that just for the camera's purposes, they probably gave me like the best of the best, but I do think that at Vera Clinic in general, they have a lot of skilled and qualified technicians for the whole round, because I saw a bunch of people who've done their surgeries there and it's come out pretty good. So I wouldn't discount that too much, but that's definitely something that I noticed because it was on camera. And FYI, by all means, I'm not sponsored by the clinic in any sense. I just reached out to them and they were cool with filming me because they saw that I had a YouTube channel, and I was like, great, I'll use that to my advantage to be able to show to my subscribers exactly what's going on at the clinic. I hope it's provided some information and insights for you guys as well, because that's the whole point of doing this in the first place. Back in the day, I didn't know anything, and I'm just trying to share it to people who were probably in my situation last year. So at the end of the visit, they usually offer you some aftercare supplements to purchase. I personally did not buy that many this time around because I knew for a fact what they were trying to sell me and how helpful and how not helpful it was. I did purchase the GF Serum and the Herix spray. I did also buy a pack of finasteride that they were selling there, only because I had run out on my end, so I just figured I'd pick it up there. All of it was still not very cheap, but I'll go through a proper breakdown of everything that they offer and the clinic of the supplements in another video. But for now, I just want want to give a gist of that. They will still try to sell it to you, but it's really up to you to purchase it or not. You can purchase like a supply of 1 or 2 months. You don't have to go all out. I think nowadays they have an offer of 3 months to 6 months. Again, I would say get the lowest, and then when you're back home, you can probably find and research items that still work for you, that's still within that budget range of your liking. And lastly, I just want to give a quick 2-week update of my head and hair situation. As you can see, the hair is actually growing out pretty fast. I'm actually surprised at how well it's been holding up. This is all, of course, mostly my transplanted hair from last year. It's actually been growing pretty well, and I was afraid because I thought it'd be growing much slower. Last year, I didn't have much hair on that area, so when I saw it was growing out pretty fast, I was like, oh yeah, I do have hair there. Why do I keep forgetting that? It's refreshing and nice to see that hair is actually growing pretty fast. As I showed you earlier in the close-up of my donor area and my crown, it's slowly recovering, slowly growing out. The healing is mostly done for my donor area, which is nice, and I believe the shedding phase is about to begin for me, so it's a little daunting, but at the same time, because I went through it already once, I'm more prepared and more understanding of what's to come, basically. The first few days were pretty alright. Once I got off the antibiotics and the painkillers, my head definitely started to hurt and sting a little bit more. There was a lot of swelling that occurred, and my head basically looked like an abnormal eggshell, but that subsided pretty quickly after a few days. There's still a lot of numbness on my head. I mean, there still is, I think, but it's not as bad as it was at the start. I can start feeling more and more of my head every day as the day goes by. So that's nice. You know, it's nice to feel your head. I had a lot of donor scabs on the first week especially, which I literally every day was rubbing my donor area just to kind of see the scabs come off. It is very satisfying to take off, but very annoying every day to do it. It's a weird imbalance. And of course, on the 11th day, I got those scabs out, thankfully. I'm now able to shower a bit normally. It was definitely difficult to shower from the first day till about the 11th day. I made a video about exactly how to shower from all those days. Definitely do check that out if you haven't already. Now I'm able to shower normally, able to apply the GF shampoo, which I've had from last year as well. Yeah, recovery has been going okay. Well, final thing I want to say is that sleeping now is finally back to normal. Thank God. The first few days is very difficult to find the right way to sleep because it is the most annoying thing to sleep upright. It's like you're sleeping on a plane every night. Just ridiculous. I did make a video on exactly how to sleep after a hair transplant. If you're interested, definitely check that one out as well. But now I'm able to sleep flat on my bed without any issues. Because the scabs are out, I'm much more comfortable on my pillow. All right, well, that's kind of the experience that I had this time with the clinic and a little 2-week update about my head and hair transplant. I hope you've been enjoying these videos so far. I'm trying to make more and more tutorial videos after a hair transplant to help anyone who's out there who's looking for some guidance and help. I also have a one-on-one service, which is basically you guys having the opportunity to chat with me. And it's not just a one-on-one for that one time. It's basically unlimited follow-ups afterwards. And of course, you share your story with me. I'm also going to be inviting some of my subscribers to be able to be shown on this channel if they're interested. If you end up signing up with me with that one-on-one conversation, you have an option to be able to be showcased on my YouTube channel, and we just have the conversation about your hair journey and maybe help bring your confidence back, and others might be able to see your story and help you as well. So if you're interested, click the link in the description below and book a timing that works best for you, and hopefully we can have that conversation together. Well, I'm excited to see the hair grow on my crown along with the rest of my hair. And I hope this video was helpful to you in any way. If it's bring you some value, do consider liking and subscribing to my channel. It means a lot to me. I'm just trying to reach out to as many people as I can with my knowledge of getting a hair transplant twice, and hopefully it helps you as well. I think that's all for me today. Follow to watch me grow a full head of hair. And remember, trust the process. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.